Derek! Marvellous. Hope the audio's okay. Hope the video's okay for what it is, because it's nothing major. It's just banged together. Good stuff. Tried to start the stream, had some really bad 50% drop frames, which isn't a good idea, but that was down to the fact that Dropbox decided it was going to update about 30 gigs because this laptop hasn't been on for a while, so that in itself became a bit of an issue, as you can imagine. So we'll try and avoid that. So there's just you and me, Derek. Which is generally the way. I appreciate that most people are still at work or enjoying the sunshine or whatever, but yeah, just thought this arrived today. Just thought I'd make a start. I used to have a look. I don't know whether you're aware, but I've had nothing from Sovol before. Never bought anything from Sovol. Did look at the SV08 kind of, but the whole idea of clipper and associated interesting things up till this point kind of made my brain hurt rather a lot. So I thought to myself I would steer clear of it, but something came out the other day, a sneak preview, which made me change my mind somewhat. It's not actually telling me if there's anybody apart from you watching. Let's take the live chat off. One watching, and you haven't given me a thumbs up yet. Come on, press that thumbs up button. Just you and me, kid. So yeah, we are at 1.1% drop frame, so that's good. I would say I'll wait for a few more people to join the stream, but seeing as it's not advertised or anything, this probably is going to end up being more for me to look back at and see where I cocked up. Maybe download it and then do some editing to it at some stage, maybe. I don't really know. I've got a... Is that you sending me what's the apples? So you sent me a picture of me streaming. Well, that's all right then. Good stuff. Marvellous. So, yeah, just let me get myself back up to where I can see myself. So yeah, so basically I'm just going to unbox it, take a look at it, maybe put it together, maybe power it up, maybe do a first print. Don't know how far I'm going to get. Nothing is carved in stone for this, like I say. It's more for me documenting it for myself, as it were. But we'll see how we get on. Paul, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. So yeah, basically we'll get this unboxed and we'll talk about one thing or another while we're doing it, the reasoning behind it. If I start to make too much noise with my beard on the mic, let me know and I'll move it so I don't deafen everybody, because I am aware that sometimes my beard catches the mic and causes issues, and we wouldn't want that, would we? So yeah, we'll open it up and we'll have a little chat about my reasoning behind all this as we go along. I don't know whether either of you have either of you got oh, Andrew, good afternoon, young man. I don't know whether any of you have Sovol machines, have had Sovol machines, have thought about a Sovol machine, have looked at a Sovol. I've had, like I say, I've seen them, I saw they were good, I saw they were cheap, but really a machine I had to build wasn't on my radar. Certainly a machine using clipper wasn't on my radar, because that's just, whoa, you know, that's a bit big and scary. You know, take me back to the old days of marlin, guys. You know, that I can about deal with. Beyond that, right, we're just going to see if we can show you what's in the top of the box. What's in the top of the box? So, have I transferred you over to that now? Are you now on that camera? You are. Instantaneous, look at that. So, top of the box, we've got some filament. Not a lot, but better than nothing. So there we go. A manual. The Wi-Fi connection guide. And there's a bit more of that on the back. Not very exciting, I know. So this came from AliExpress, delivered inside. Oh, when did I order it? Let me think. What are we today? We're Wednesday today, so it was ordered on Sunday night. So to have it here by Wednesday ain't half bad. I think it was a UK store, but anyway, that's the top layer. So there's a box that's got something in, a small roll of white PLA, and a gantry that I can see. So what we'll do is we'll swap back to the other camera by the power of bump, like that, and we will I should be able to do that in a nice smooth transition, shouldn't I? But I haven't. Sorry for the shaky handy cam. So right, so small roll of white PLA, 200 grams. Be enough to do a benchy, wouldn't it? It's actually quite a good angle, is this, isn't it? Because you can see into the box and you can still see my beautiful face. So in here, oh my goodness, all sorts of fabulous stuff in here. Wow. Okay, so there's sort of cable connectors, there's Allen keys, there's zip ties, there's a pair of needle-nosed, I want to say pliers, but they're not pliers, are they? What do you call them? Those things. Pair of them. Tell you what, let's go back to the other camera and have a look. I really ought to get better. Can you tell I'm out of practice? Is it really glaringly obvious? It certainly is to me. So, right. So this is the bag look. So it's got like a pallet scraper in it, PTFE tube with a pneumatic coupling on it, some screws, some clips, USB drive. Ooh, focus, damn you. That's a nozzle wipe. You can't see it's the other way up. And then a pair of them, one of them, some of them, and a box that's got something in it, which I'm sure we'll get into eventually. We'll go back to me. Flush cutters. No, not flush cutters. It's, what are they called? Pincers, thingies, whatever. Anyway, so also in the box, we have a UK mains plug. I'm just going to, there's also two Allen keys with nice rubberized handles. They're nice. Hex wrenches, they call them. From Pengong tools. So yeah, so UK power supply, so that's excellent. Tweezers, there you go. Andrew wins today's special prize. A little piece of plastic, which I suppose is for covering part of the extrusion, and that is the spool holder, which appears, I'm sure has got some kind of bearing inside there, because that feels awfully smooth and rolly and lovely. So There's going to end up being a hell of a mess on the floor down here, I can see. So this is the main gantry. Have a look at that, which is already all sort of gantryfied. There's the camera, you can see that up there, but in that top corner there's a tiny wee little camera, which is lovely to see. It's got a little bit of peely cleary lens tape on that. I'll leave that on there for now. So there's that. But yeah, it's clever that it's sort of modular design. I mean, I did go through a stage thinking about doing a Voron, but they're expensive to get a kit, and they look like an awful lot of building. Far more building than I'm willing to do. Then we have, okay, so I'm guessing this is the top of the frame. I say that because there is, along here, I'll bring it down a bit, along here, look, there's a little LED strip there, which is good. This is all anodized metal, all very nice. I'm sure you've seen a million of these videos from people far better than me, but there is method in my madness. And it's something to do with that and chucking that away eventually and replacing it with something else. So yeah, so that is the print head. Now I understand there is a little bit of issue with the bed levelling and bed meshing and the such. We'll go into that, probably not today, at a later date. Oh, Century Carbon. Do you know, I was that close to pulling the trigger. That close. But we've got to keep our eyes open, because I think in a couple of days' time there's going to be another release from Elegoo. Now, some say it's the AMS style unit. Others say it's a bigger machine. The only reason I didn't go for it, Andrew, is because I've got the X1 Carbon, same size. What's the point of buying another one? But it was tempting at that price. If you were watching a live stream with me, when they came up with how much it was, that was, nobody could have predicted it being that cheap. Nobody. I don't care who you are. So yeah, screen small, but apparently we're gonna hook up to USB and do it all over the computer or something. Again, not something I know about. I've got all this to come. Don't know where that cable beggars off to. I can't get. Right, I'll need to leave that where it is for the minute, because it would appear that that's attached to something on the next layer down. If I'm waffling too much, don't tell me, because I'm not interested. Right, so that looks to me like that is part of the spool holder, and that'll be the filament runout sensor. Tell you, it all feels very nicely made. This cost me, I want to say, well, I don't want to lie to you, so I'll actually look. How about that? I'll actually go back to being a human and go to AliExpress and go to orders. So bump. I've actually got into using AliExpress recently. They've been very good. I've had no issues with them at all. So just bear with me, sorry. It was 390 something plus VAT, basically. I can't actually physically see where it is, but that's roughly what it was. It worked out under £500, which I didn't think was too bad. I'm sure somebody will tell me otherwise, that they can get it for a lot cheaper, but there we go. So we've got So that calls itself Z3, so that's obviously one corner with its motor and belt and everything else. So hopefully there's 3 more of those. If there isn't, we're in trouble. There is 3 more of those. There's that one. That's a Z1. So we've got Z1 and Z3 so far. So this is good. But isn't it nice that it's modular? Like I say, I've watched, after I'd actually bought it, which was interesting, I thought I'd better look at a couple of videos on it, and I have, and I'm quite impressed. I mean, like I say, it's, as I'm sure you guys, all 4 of you who are watching, one of which is me, so all 3 of you that are watching, know that I kind of gone away from building machines and tinkering with machines. I'd kind of got lazy and kind of got into it just prints, isn't it brilliant? I mean, I've got the X1 carbon there, I've got the A1 there, and the fact that you just literally, I was away yesterday, I was at home in Thirsk, and something came up that I wanted to print, and I was literally sat in a pub. What a surprise, I was sat in a pub. And on my phone, I went in, I downloaded it, I sent it to spool 3, which was my white PLA, fired it off, and it printed on the A1. While I was in the pub, it sent me a message to say it had finished. Turned the camera on, looked at the camera, saw that it printed fine. Told it to power down, came home, came back to work today, up to my room, and there it was, printed and sorted. I mean, you can't knock that. But the issue with that is it becomes too easy. And I think I miss, to a degree, the actual tinkering of the good old days. So this might just help me to rekindle my interest a bit. I mean, it might not, but hopefully what I'm going to end up doing with it will rekindle my interest. So yes, there's 4 of those, so that's good. That's 4 corners. We like 4 corners. Now I've got to try and get, alright, there we go. Oh, and that only leaves us 1 level left, which you can't see, so I will take you in. As long as I can clear the cable off enough to take you in. So we'll do that, and we'll do that, and you can't zoom out. Can I just make it? We'll do that. There you go. So that's what's in the bottom of the box. So there's the bed, there's the nozzle wipes. That's some sort of switch, I believe, which is something to do with the levelling, which is where half the problem derives from. She's a big old girl, it's got to be said. Yeah, this could get interesting. So back to me. So I'm just reading your messages, sorry. The bloody love art's in the way, I can't read what you've put, Andrew. I'm the same, more efficient, and then build other things. Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, just got to the stage, I just was thinking to myself, it's easy, but it's actually got a bit boring. So, yeah, I succumbed. So they're plastic corner pieces, so that's quite cool. So the print head is actually still wired and connected to this base, and this base is a beast of a beast. Right, you're going to have to bear with me now while I juggle. So we're going to move that over there. We're going to attempt to lift that up and move that somehow without knocking everything over. I'll tell you something, I'm never getting out of this room now. So there we have it. She's a big girl. It's got to be said. Now, there's a few things I need to do. Somebody's mentioned online that this isn't the best. It's sort of smooth on that side, and then it's got a finish on that side. Apparently one of those, is it BQ, do that blue one, the frostbite or whatever it is, and apparently this warps when it gets up to temperature. Some people have had some real issues with that. There's a bed replacement for it, which is 300 quid. Don't think we'll be going down that road. Also, there's something about the sensor that they don't think is particularly good, but maybe the firmware's altered that. We'll wait and see. I've got several inductive sensors, so I can do what I need to do with them to make them work. We can hack about with this. This is going to be the hack about machine, I'm sure of it. Yeah, we'll make it good again. We will make it good again. I'm just, excuse me, slight interlude. So yeah, there we go. So do I read the instructions, or do we start putting it together, seeing as we're here? So we might as well, really, don't we? Wi-Fi connection, we don't want to bother about that yet. Okay, so we get equipment parameters, packing lists, read the manual carefully, even if you're familiar with 3D printing technology. Tutorials, website, scan QR codes, notes, package list, assembly. We're going to use the book, nothing more, nothing less. We're going to use the provided tools like we always do, nothing more, nothing less, and we'll see if we can get it together. So it basically says, as shown in figure 1, take out the base component and then components Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4 from the packing box, and place all the components on a table or surface that is not easily scratched. Okay. Place the nozzle kit and wiring harness connected to the base on a hot bed platform. I can do that. If it's all that easy, I'm laughing. Notice there's corresponding corner marks on the installation corner, so basically they're saying Z4 to Z4, Z3 to Z3, just in case you get confused. Align Z4 with the front panel of the base and install it. So you put it underneath, you push it up according to this. So that's Z2, that's Z4. So basically what they're saying is, okay, get hold of that, I get hold of that, I lift that up. Ooh. That sort of has to go in there somehow, I'm guessing from that. There's 2 screw holes, there's 2 holes there, there's a hole there, there's a hole there. So, working on that theory, that goes like that, and that pushes home into there. There you go, look. Z4 and Z4. Don't look at the book. I'm going to look at the book. I'm going to be rebellious. I'll be wrong, but I'll be rebellious. I mean, I can't really get this wrong, can you? Z4, Z1, Z3, Z2. It's got to be fairly simple. So if someone to do Z4, remove the screws from the kit as shown in the figure. After, there's 2 T's in after on here. It's after. Installing Z4 component, rotate the base component again according to the preceding instructions. So they want So they just then expect you just to put the rest in. Right, okay. So, go into here, I have to find some screws. So, screws. They have step numbers written on them, so that's nice. So, I've got step 8, step 7, they're in order. Step 6, step 5, step 4, step 3, step 2, step 1. These have got some blue lock nut on them as well. That's interesting. But I do like the fact they're stepped. They say what they are. They are M4 by 30 and there's 16 of them. So there's 3 in there. 3, 2, 3, 6, 3, 3 is 9, 4, 3 is 12. So there must be some more holes I can't see. Right, I see. So the M4 30s go in there like that, and then we need some of the other ones. M4 30s, M540s, that's this one. That goes in the one I can't see, which is at the front. So this is a round head. So I'm guessing that somewhere there, look at that. Me not daft. Well, possibly not. And then we have step 3, which is a M5 by 15, goes into the top screw. Which is that one. And then we have a M4 by 8, which goes into the countersunk hole on the side down here. Now we might need to just give that a little bit of a wiggle to, there we go, just to get it into all like. That's why I never tighten any bolts up fully first. We will use these super duper Allen keys as provided. I'll go to the one I can't see first. Now I'm not tightening it all the way up yet. Not until I've got all 4 started and running, and then I'll tighten them. But I want to make sure I get them all in, not cross-threaded. So we're down to 0.2% drop frame, so that's good. I don't think I'm in focus though, am I? Is the problem now. Focus. Could somebody tell me why I wasn't in focus? You could have said. Am I back in focus? No. Oh. It reckons autofocus is on, but whether it's focusing on me or focusing on it. But if we have any major issues with focus, somebody shout at me in the comments and we'll attempt to solve it, or solvo it. Oh God. I'm turning into brown vines. Somebody save me. That's not the right one for that, Matt. You want that little one? No, you don't, because that doesn't fit. It only just went out of focus. Oh, well, that's good. So these 2 main Allen keys, neither of them fit this little one. Which is helpful to nobody, so I'm going to have to go back into the pack and get the other Allen keys that are in the pack because I'm struggling. So into my tool pack. Oh, there's a couple of things for clearing block nozzles there. There's an acupuncture needle and a little pusher to push through from the other side. I'm going to guess. No, it's going to be smaller than that. We're going to go for that one. Yeah. Make sure that goes in straight, doesn't cross thread. That's the tightest one of them all. Is that one. That's the one we've got to watch. So you think it's this upright that's altering the focus? Right, okay, so what we'll do is, let's turn autofocus off. And let's see if we can't... Ooh! That looks better. I can't really tell. I'm going to have to rely on you guys to tell me whether that looks half decent or not. Hate autofocus. How are we looking focus wise? Hey buddy, how you doing? My good friend. So yeah, can you give me an idea if the focus is anything like right? Because now James is here, we have to make sure everything's right because otherwise, you know, I'll get in trouble. Well, you could say that. You could say that, James. I can't possibly comment. Very probably, mate. I might as well tell you, seeing as there's now a whole 4 people watching. I was watching Grant 3D Musketeers on, I believe it was Sunday night. Because Sunday night, until Steve builds or anything like that, I sit and watch Grant. And he was on with, I can never remember his name, which is really embarrassing because I've met the lad. You know who I mean. He runs his own 3D printer company and I cannot remember his name for the life of me, which is really embarrassing. Because like I say, I've met him, he's a nice lad. But anyway, it was his live stream on Sunday. He was talking about the new Bamboo Lab machine. Well, this was last week actually, to start with. And yeah, chatting away about that. And sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. And they were talking about the Bamboo machine. This was before it came out. And come on, brain, get back into gear. Anyway, yes, we're talking about it. And then they had seen a sneak peek of a new tool changing system that BondTech were sort of sneaky peeking, did a very short video of it, and Grant was talking about it, and lo and behold, somebody from Sovol appeared in the chat. Sovol, not Solvo, Sovol was in the chat, and they started talking about this thing, and this guy sent him some more video to show it actually working, to prove that it wasn't all CGI and one thing or another, and they were chatting away about it, and they were saying that there were machines you could use it on and certain machines you could use it on and one thing or another, and it came up in chat, would it work on a Sovol SV08? And the guy turned around and went, yes, not only will it work on a Sovol SV08, Sovol, got to get this right, Sovol, not Solvo, Sovol SV08, he said, yeah, not only will it work on one, but we're designing a specific kit for it. Now, if you haven't seen it, if you go on the BondTech website, it comes up and it's pretty blooming amazing. Basically, it sits at the back of the machine, and the head, there's only one nozzle. No, I'm lying to you. There are as many nozzles as there are heads. I think they had 9 or 10 in a row on the piece of video they were showing. But the nozzle and the filament is in one piece, but the extruder and the heater, there's only one of them. So rather than being like the tool changer, the Prusa tool changer, which is the whole thing, this has got all the sort of extruder part is just one lump with the nozzle and the heater, and it comes to the back and it picks up the nozzle and then takes it forward and prints with it and then puts it back again. So apart from a wipe or a wipe tower that it needs to do, it's all individual pieces for the head, if that makes any sense. So there's only one head and it locks back onto the piece that's carrying the filament in and out. So it would appear that it's a lot less to go wrong, a lot cheaper. The main head, they're saying, is about £250, and then each piece at the back, I think, is somewhere between £35 and £45 each. So if you got 5 across the back of here maybe, and you've bought this and you've paid, say you paid 500 quid for this, for less than £1,000, in theory, if it works the way that they say it's going to work, you should have a 4, 5 or 6 head tool changer for £1,000. And at that point, I went on the website and I ordered a Sovol, because I couldn't see a reason not to. When it came up with something like that, it was just like, oh my giddy aunt, I better get one. Later found out that they are going to be allegedly out on the market November. Now, whether that's worldwide, whether that's just, don't know, in the States, I don't honestly know, but BondTech have said that it will be out November, so I'm not going to disbelieve them. I can't chuffing wait. So yeah, that's the whole reason behind getting this, is to go into the happy world of tool changer, because I'm sure some of you will be aware, if you follow me on X, that I have been toying with the idea of buying the 5-head Prusa XL, but to be honest with you, it's going to cost me $3,400, something like that, to get it to me. I couldn't justify that. I really couldn't. £1,000 I can justify. I mean, it might be that it's not what we expect it to be. It might not work as well as we hope it will. But if it does, it's going to be phenomenal. So that's the reasoning behind what I'm doing, because I've always wanted something that will print PLA in 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 colours. I don't want to do more than that. I mean, probably 6 would be more than sufficient. But we'll do multicolour PLA prints without a lot of mess, without a lot of waste. And I think between them, BondTech and Sovol have kind of answered my prayers. Let's hope so anyway. Because this, there's a cable tie in there. I don't think I want that cable tie to be in there. What is that cable tie doing? Is that stopping that? No. It's a rogue cable tie. Glad I saw that. I probably actually just picked that up when I opened the packet. It's probably dropped in there. It probably wasn't in there to start with. That's probably my bad. So yeah, it looks like between them they could have answered my prayers and given me a decent machine. I mean, H2D, I was ready for pulling the trigger on that. When I saw the price, I was even more ready to pull the trigger on it. And then when I realised that unless you're printing only 2 colours, you're going to have that same issue of a lot of filament changes, a lot of wasted filament, a lot of wasted time, I backed out. I literally had my finger on the button to order it, and I just went, oof, no, it's not what I wanted. Which is a pity, because it would have been lovely, but there's no point buying it if it's not what you want. Buying it for the sake of buying it doesn't do anybody any favours. I mean, I know there's always that thought of, well, you know, for content creation, that would be a wonderful thing because it's the latest thing on the market, and there's going to be lots of stuff you can do for people that are buying it that don't know what they're doing. But again, the same with everything else. That's only really any good if you're first through the door, which means all the guys that got sent it a month early, or whenever it was that they got it, they're going to be ahead of the game on everything. Every upgrade, every change, they're going to be, like I say, ahead of the game because they've had the machine longer than anybody else. So even to buy one for content creation is just, that's not going in right. That's not sitting square. Yeah, it's I just decided it wasn't what I wanted, so why waste my money? And then literally within, well, I don't know whether it was a day later, it was certainly close to, that this tool changer was out there, and that made me very excited. Hey Tom, thanks mate, appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully we're going to find some time to do some stuff, especially with this. If any of you out there, I know James, bless his cotton socks, knows all about his clipper, so I think James is going to become an integral part of my my first foray into a clipper machine, because I don't mind saying it scares me half to death. So yes, James, no hiding, because we will go through this together and all the foibles of clipper. I'm sure once I get my head around it, I'll be alright, but it's just the initial, it just fills me with dread. It really does. I see so many people struggling, let's say. But hopefully, with the help of the community and the Facebook groups for the Sovol, I'll get around it. But yeah, I must admit I am a little bit scared, a little bit worried about just what I've let myself in for. But sometimes you have to put yourself outside your comfort zone, don't you? Because if you didn't, you'd never do anything. Right, so we're on to the last upright. And I've got to admit, these are they're fairly good. They're going in fairly nicely, he says, and he gets to one that won't go in. That one's sitting way high. Way high. That's a brand of printer, isn't it? Oh, there we go. I think it's because it's the last one. It's just being a little bit more interesting. But it looks like that's lined up. We shall see shortly. Yes, James, my first clipper printer. My first foray into clipper in any way, shape or form. It's always scared me to death as clipper. So yeah, gonna hit the ground running, panicking, whatever it is. I'm just gonna, can I tilt that onto that side? Hopefully now I've got those screws done up, I'm not going to do any damage. Oh, apart from knock the head off. It's just this one doesn't seem to want to line up quite as easily as all the rest. That's better. A little bit of gentle persuasion. It could well be. I don't think there's anything trapped anywhere. No, belts are all free. I think it's just because it's the last leg, as it was. It's a little more difficult. It's awfully warm up here today. I mean, I know I've got two studio lights on plus my normal lights, but it's been a good day here today. It's been sort of 17 degrees, so that's been warm. So being in a room with a locked door, and I've got the Arga downstairs below here, so that pushes heat out as well. Yeah, it's getting a bit moist. Yeah, I mean, as you know, James, I cut my teeth on rep wrap stuff, marlin. Marlin I could, at one stage I could do with my eyes closed. I can't do it with my eyes closed anymore. But yeah, that sort of thing had no problem with at all. And I'm kind of hoping that one way and another I'm going to be alright with this. I think I've left it long enough that enough people have made the mistakes that there'll be a lot of people out there that can help me solve my problems. Now, I've just had a message. My WhatsApp screen's just buzzed from my gorgeous other half to say that there's a glass of wine outside the door for me. The issue with that is I have got a lot of boxes, a table and a camera between me and that glass of wine, and I guarantee you it's going to be a nice ice cold glass of white, and that's going to be even more upsetting. So I am going to have to, at this point, now I've got these screws done up, I'm going to dive under the desk. You're going to hear me make lots of funny noises and groan and moan because I'm an old man, and that's what old men do when they move. And I'm going to go and get my glass of wine, because it would be a travesty for me to have a glass of white wine and it getting warm. Do you not think? So we've got four bits on, so that's good. So you're just going to have to talk amongst yourselves. I don't know whether I've got anything set up on here to do a back in 2 minutes or anything. I don't know whether I bothered. No, I didn't. So we will just have to. Oh yeah. Dockable window. I'm not interested in dockable windows. We're just going to have to smile. All right, buddy. Take care. Thanks for bobbing in. And yeah, watch your DMs. Right, we're going. It's not white, guys, it's red. Damn it. So it's not an ice cold glass of red, it's a room temperature glass of white. I'm going to open a window because I am beginning to melt a little. If there's a lot of noise comes from outside, I apologise. But you know, it's just how it is. That's my glass of red, look. So I'll dive under here. Now the good thing about this is that you can't see is that I'm actually still wearing my motorbike jeans from my ride out today, which means I've got pads on my knees, so it doesn't hurt half as much. So yeah, it's 7:15. Cheers, guys. Is it not 6:15? It's 6:15. Nice glass of red. Not too much, you notice. She doesn't want me overdoing it while I'm working on the machine. So there we go, we've got the 4 uprights on. Now it wants us to put the top on. So that will be that one. I've got to say, I'm trying to think whose video I watched. I watched somebody's video, and they were a little worried that these weren't, my wine, these weren't stable until the top went on. Well, they've clearly added more screws or something since then, because they're solid as a rock, which is nice. So I'm hoping that the screeny bit is at the front now, which it is. The Sovol logo needs to face forward, so that's that. So that needs to go on. Look at this. My goodness, I've got to say, that is quite a neat fit, isn't it? Really just sort of, I mean, alright, a little bit of a wobble, but not a lot, which means those screws into the base must work fairly well at getting things perpendicular for that top to drop on like that, because that was nice. So I need the M3 by 6 times 2. So that's a step 5 bag. So that's here. I've got 8 of those. So I'm guessing as the corresponding position in the picture. Use 2 step 5 screws to each of the, so there's 2 in each corner of these little scroobly dooblies. Now then, does this use this posh one with a handle? It does. So we'll get those lined up. There we go. Just a little bit of pressure, just to push it over ever so slightly. There we go. I think I'll tighten these down. Don't ever do anything too much. With things like this, I always do them until I can feel a bit of a twist in the actual shaft of the Allen key. To me, that's talked enough. You don't want to be going any further than that, because it will just cause a lot of unnecessary issues, I believe. Nobody wants to strip threads. That's a whole world of trouble you really don't want to get into. That one's dropped straight in. So before we snick that one home, we'll get that one in. That one's gone straight in as well. So tighten it till I can feel a twist in the hex key, like that. They're tight enough. So has anybody fallen asleep yet? I know James has run away, but that's his prerogative. So yeah, I'm really sorry if this is incredibly boring for you, because you will have seen lots of these done about 10 months ago. But it's all new to me. Like I say, 3 days ago, I was aware it existed, I was aware what it was, but I had watched nothing on it. In fact, I think I might have seen a little bit of one of TH3D's live streams where they were talking about it. But apart from that, it's not really been on my radar at all. So yeah, as of 3 days ago, I knew what it was, I knew what it purported to copy, because they do pay the Voron project for every machine they sell, so that's good. So we've got those in. Right, we've now got to put the AB axis even. So basically taking the gantry out, putting it in at an angle and dropping it on. So they want it in like this, and then over like that, and then how am I not doing that right somehow? There could be a cable in the way, Matthew. Why did nobody tell me about the cable that was in the way? There we go, look. We're in. We're in, by gosh. By golly. I've got top chat on. Don't want top chat on. I want all messages. There we go. That's better. Not that I've missed anything. So, got that on. So we want the step 1 bolts, which are these, which are the M4x30s, and they go into there and right into the corner. So there and there, there and there. I've got to say, this is a nice machine. All these injection moulded parts are really quite pleasant. Everything looks clean. I hope this is magnetic. It is. Saved. Come on, get in your hole. That can't be right. The hole's there. I can't quite see. Should really turn it round, shouldn't I? That'd be the sensible way of doing it, because as soon as it's falling down there again. We'll do these ones up, and then we'll work our way around. Right, that's not quite lined up because that's not biting. I'll just put the smaller Allen key in and just give it a wiggle to try and get it to centralise itself. No, it's made no difference. I'll try doing that. Right, so that doesn't want to go in. Does that corner one want to go in? No, that doesn't want to go in either. So I'm working on the theory that one does. But something here isn't quite lined up correctly. In the words of Big Clive, one moment please. I've just pushed it down and it's clinked, clinked, clunked. And it's still not biting. Yeah. Just struggling a little bit here, Andrew. It doesn't seem to want to drop in. I wonder if there's another one that isn't, oh, don't do that, Matt, that isn't clunked all the way down, and that's what's causing the, there we are, look, that one's not in either. So if I put that in like that, and that gets a grip, does that now mean that this opposite corner still doesn't want to play? Right, so something somewhere is not quite right. If anybody watches Nerys, he's just gone live, so if you want to head over and watch Nerys, I totally understand. I'm just going to loosen a couple of these screws off, which might give me a bit of play. No, I can't get to those. I've got it the right way around, haven't I? I've got to have. Because the camera's at the front looking to the back. Yeah, I've definitely got it the right way around. So we're just gonna start with getting this one in before we go anywhere else with anything else. Might I try a different screw? Maybe it's the screw. Never thought about checking the head of the screw, did I? No, it's not catching. I don't understand why it's not, Andrew, because it's dropped all the way in. But it just doesn't doesn't seem to want to play, and in fairness there is little or no movement on the carriage. Right, I think what we need to do is get these back out. Make sure they're all loose. I'm going to move the carriage. I'm going to make sure that that threaded inset actually works, which it does. I mean, it's tough, but it's tough because it's got blue Loctite on the start of it, which makes it stiff. Yeah, and it's always me, Andrew. Don't know whether you've noticed. Oh. I know you didn't mean it that way. See, that looks lined up. If I actually look down through there, that does look like it's lined up. But it just won't bite. I wonder. No, she's not playing. She's definitely not playing. I don't think she's sat all the way down. Longer bolt. No, I can see the bolt coming through. Let me show you. Let me show you. Right. Heaven knows if this is going to focus. So you can see there's a gap there at the moment, which I can do that with, which tightens it up. And if you look down from the top, it would mean taking the bolt out, but if I look down from the top, I can see the threaded insert directly below, but it just seems slightly out of skew somehow. Not quite sure how or why, but it just doesn't want to line up perfectly, and I think until it lines up perfectly, that doesn't want to go in. Don't want to force it. But it just, I don't think either of them are lined up, because you would think if I went to that back one, see how that popped up of its own accord then? If I went to that back one, you would think that one would go in. But you can hear that clicking as well. So that's not lined up either. The only thing I can think is this side of the, right, this side of the gantry is a lot lower. So if I bring that up like that and try doing it at that angle, is that going to square it off? Well, didn't work that way. Don't know where that bolt's gone now, it's there. No. And I've definitely got the gantry the right way around. I can't see for a moment that that isn't right. Because the camera's in the front corner there. It says, note, when locking the screws, you need to adjust the mounting hole position of the AB screws and the mounting threaded hole of the Z front axis component, and then lock the screws. If necessary, you can pull the AB access frame to align the holes. Well, I don't know what kind of Superman they think I am. I'm more like Lois Lane. Is that gone? I think I've actually got it. I have, I've got it. I've got that one. Right, let's get one in all the way around, because that took some fighting. That one's gone straight in. I basically put the palm of my hand on there and pull on this, so I'm pushing the frame that way, I'm pushing this that way to bring it over to get it to line up. Let's just go back to the other camera. There we go, that's better. So yeah, I was pushing on, you can't see it on there, do it on this bit. I was pushing on that side and pulling on the gantry, so I was twisting it across and feeling at the same time, and eventually I felt it go. But I'm sure it means that one of these now isn't going to line up, because that would be just my luck, a bit like that one, look, because that's doing the same thing now. Let's see if we can, and it's more difficult with this one because it's the arse about face one. Oh no, that's going in. So if I can get that one to start going in, which it doesn't want to do, so we'll go for the corner one first. There you go, that was thumb on top, and just pop it down. That one's now going in. By George. Hard work though. I'm sure I didn't sign up for this. Somebody told me it was easy. Yeah, well there I am saying everything slots together really easy, and then he decided it wouldn't. It looks okay now, does it? Go down. This bit. Just got to remind myself to tighten these back up. I'll loosen to give me a little bit of play. I've got one more bolt to go in, haven't I? Got two in there, I've got one in there, so I've got one more to go in there. And then one more to go in there. I see they've gone straight in. Yeah, it looks better now, doesn't it, Jonathan? Definitely. I think we're definitely more to where we should be with that. But blooming heck. Right, if you're doing a pro share, you have a gummy bear. I'll have a swig of the red stuff. Oh, do you know, sorry about the slurping noise. Right, now it wants me to do the spool holder. So spool holder. I need the bearing tube. I need the locking bit from there. So the spool holder goes on. That goes on there. This is all very straightforward. That goes on there. Very straightforward, he says. You can't do it. Put the cap on the right way around. Huh? He's trying to get away from me. There you are, that's an old man noise. Come on, line up. There we go. Right, so that goes on like that, and then it sits off the front. No. So I'm just getting my orientation right by looking at the manual. So that's that way around. So it sits oh, blooming says so here, look. There. That's where it goes. Like that. Read the instructions. And we're using step 6 for there in here. And these have got little spring washers on them. So they go on. Right, don't you mess about, you blooming line up, because you're fiddly for old man fingers. Old man fingers. We might put Todd Allen key in like that, or hex key as I have to call it, and then that makes life a whole lot easier. Well, hello to all 7 of you watching. I do appreciate you taking the time to bob in, seeing as there was no warning of this at all. It was all just very much off the cuff, because this wasn't supposed to be turning up till tomorrow, and then all of a sudden they said it's out for delivery, so I wasn't going to argue. So we've got that done. So now apparently we're on to the extruder module. Please take the cover off before assembly of the nozzle. So, cover off, like so. The fan is connected. I will disconnect the fan. Oh, has it got gluey horrible stuff on it? It's not really got a lot of snot on it, but there we go, we've got it off. I won't do what Grant did on his, which was then wire it to the wrong fan, because that would make me look silly. So I'm kind of guessing I need to turn it round now so I can see this bit, because I'm kind of guessing that this is somehow going to sit over there, probably exactly like that, and I just screw it on. So excuse me while I turn it round, I do apologise. I have to watch my wine, nothing else is important. Right, so I'll just do a quick fire over to the other camera. I'm sure you're all going to go, we already know what it looks like. So it looks like that. So that's where we are at the moment. And I have reason to believe that there is a hole there which is going to go into there, and then there's one that goes into there. So it looks like it could just be a couple of screws to screw it on. Which would be fairly cool, wouldn't it, if it was just 2 screws. I'm sorry you're a bit low, but I can't actually raise you up much. So, the screws for this, oh, they do say disconnect the fan, there you go. Now it says step 7 screws, so that'll be here, and there's 3. Okay. So there's 1 there, 1 there, and then there's 1 there somewhere. So again, the 2 Allen keys with handles, sorry, hex keys with handles. Oh, right, one's for this. Oh, did you see that? The magnet on here for holding the fascia on has grabbed hold of my screw. You should never drop it. So that one into there. Then I've got 1. There. So it's nice and easy and accessible to remove the head should you ever need to. That it's just 3 head off and then 3 screws. Right, where's this 3rd one? She's down here. I believe that's it. We'll soon see. Oh, nice close up of me. Ooh, sorry, seasick. So that's in. That's in. That one's not me, but we'll give it a snidge anyway. Right, so this induction proby thing, that's apparently all the trouble, is this thing here, which might need to get changed out because apparently it's not accurate enough. But we'll see. So that's that on. Now, apparently this here piece of cable and where do they want that? Please pay attention to the direction of the blue Teflon pipe buckle. Don't see a blue Teflon pipe buckle. Unless they mean that. They might mean that. So they don't want me to do anything with this at the moment. It's the Teflon tube that they want me to deal with. So, we'll go back to big picture. Now they don't show whether that's at the long end or the short end. I'm going to presume that is going up to there and this is going down to here. So I would have the short end here. So if there's any issues with broken off filament, this is the easiest place to disconnect it. What do you reckon, guys? Does that sound like sense? Does that make sense? If somebody could tell me if that makes sense or not. Alright, Dan, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. But in my brain, you have the coupling nearest the head, so you can just nip that to deal with it. And then the long end up there. I think that's a fairly good path. Now I'm going to take the what I call a collet out like that, and I'm going to push that tube home. That's good and tight. That sounds like German. Good and tight. And then we'll put that back on. So I think that's basically what they meant. So we still haven't done any of the wiring yet, but that's fine because we're onto the screen now, apparently. So, yeah, sorry, I was in a world of my own. So again, you've got, I'll change it back to the other camera again. You've got written on the back of here, EXP1 and EXP2. You've got two cables. Funnily enough, they're labelled EXP2 and EXP1, so that's confusing. Not. So EXP2 into EXP2. Now Matthew, remember where your audience is. There's a good lad. So that's that one in. And then we'll have that one in. Push those both home like that, and then this appears to slot on at the top and push down like that. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? It's probably wrong, but it was easy. Right, assembly. Right, we're on to this bit now, look. Lots of pretty colours. So we'll go back to main view, or the second web camera I managed to get set up at short notice. So it is saying sorry, I'm just heading back. Right, I may have missed a step out here because I believe the PTF tube, I can't go through that. I've got this, I'm getting confused, I'm really sorry. So we've done that. We've done that. I haven't put the fan back on yet, but that's not a problem. Please pay attention to the direction of the blue Teflon pipe buckle. I'm not sure. I think they're actually talking about this screwing onto there. And they say, and I quote, please pay attention to the direction of the blue Teflon pipe buckle to avoid hitting the tool head cover. So they want to make sure that that sits like that. Maybe if we took those turns out of it. But they say it has to stay it should be screwed inside the frame. So it screws onto that side like that. I think that's pretty good. That's the one I've missed. And I need a step 8 for that, which is under here. So I actually missed that step out. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm going to have to stretchy reachy a bit here. I believe that screws into there. A little something like that. Okay, so we've now done that. So we're now doing the assembly of the stuff. So we've got a cable here and a cable here. So that is your camera module. And as with most of these things, they only really go one way. So that's that. Then this one up here with this bit of tape around it. This is me presuming I'm not reading the instructions anymore. And you know what they say about presumption is the doodah of what's it. But I reckon there's the strip light fitting there. I'm going to have to turn it around to have a look. But I think that's the strip light fitting. And that does in fact say LED. So this is fiddly. My goodness. Wasn't meant for a grown man, wasn't that? You've got to have baby fingers. That might actually be what the tweezers are for. My goodness. Right, I'm going to actually have to lay it on its side, I think is the plan here. Stand by where everything slides about. Right, there we go. So that's that into there. Now, we've got all sorts of stuff wrapped together here, which I don't think wants to be. So that one says X-axis. So that's going to be the long one. So that's going to come over to, is that one? Is that my X? I reckon that's my X. So just need to take that tape off. That loosens all those off. So that's the shorter cable. So we are going to think in our brains that that's the y-axis, and that goes into there because that's the shorter side of the cable. The longer the side of the cable is the x-axis. So that's going to go into there like that. And then the other piece we have is this plug here, which I believe, I was going to say it's that plug there, but that doesn't reach. Maybe it's not the right plug. Should we have a bit of further inspection? Filament runout sensor lower connector. Well, that's what it is. So maybe we need to right. So this is this. The fortunate thing about this is most of these plugs are actually different, so that helps massively. That one goes down to here, like so, and then this goes up to here, like so. I think we've got some cables plugged in, guys. Super, smashing, lovely. They're probably all in the wrong places, but... Hello, Andrew. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for dropping in. Do appreciate it. You know where I am. At least I hope you know where I am. Right, now we've got to go underneath, apparently. So we have to lay it on its side. And I've got to plug in the 4 stepper motors underneath. This is going to be exciting for you guys, won't it? Now, I'm not going to let go of it. I should really put it on this side. But seeing as I've got that there... Okay, so there's... It really isn't rocket science. Again. So you've got a cable, you've got a stepper motor. You've got a cable, you've got a stepper motor. You've got a cable, you've got a stepper motor. And you've got a cable, and you've got a cable and you've got a stepper motor. So it's as straightforward as that. So I'll do those. So 4 stepper motors, 4 cables. As long as you get them in the right way around. I said, as long as you get them in the right way around. That's a tight little wazzock. There we go. So 4-stepper motors home. I'll move that so I don't crush it. Okay, so done. Now apparently we have some cable management. So we have these. I don't know whether they're meant for those or whether it's actually cable ties for those. Read the blooming instructions, man. I don't know. So I've got all those in. Right. After connecting the material breakage detection line, so that one, you need to use a cable tie to fix the wire harness cable shown in the picture. So there's a little plastic loop up here, which again you can't see. Go on, I'll show you then, if you're that bothered. So, they're talking about this. It's got an open hole there and an open hole there. So, that wire, they want me to put that up there, like that, and cable tie it on. Okay? Do you think we can manage that? Do you think we can manage that? I'm beginning to wonder. Again, man hands. Not built for man hands. I won't snip that off yet, but I will snip it off eventually. But that gets that out of the way. So that's that one. The X motor wire harness in the trough at the bottom of the profile. They're talking about in there, and then I bet that little bit of black plastic that they gave me, I didn't know what it was for. The flat black seal. Okay, what happened to the flat black seal, everybody? Did anybody see this there? Look, the flat black seal. Good old cable management. This is where we find that would that be better? No. Do as you're told. Just think I might need to undo that piece of cable management here because there doesn't, well, maybe there is. I just don't think there's enough slack on it to get this up where it needs to be. We shall persevere. Right, she's in. Like I say, we might need to do something with that. We'll see when this carriage goes up whether that all twists in or not, and if it does, we'll undo this and we'll sort it. Place the camera wire harness. Well, that's already done. Is it not? Or is that that? Wire motor harness camera wire harness. Should be a loop somewhere to strap it to. Oh, it's under there. Right, okay. So under here there's another one of those cable tie things, which will take that and that, like that. So this one is front to back. Again, I'm not going to tighten this all the way up, because if I find I need to alter anything, I do not want to be fiddling about trying to cut cable ties that are really, really tight. And then it says these twisty things that I was fanning about with, which I now don't know where I put them here. Use 3 ties to secure the PTFE tube and the tool head wireless harness bound together. So I've got to get round that and round that. My neck. They're a bit tighter than I'd want them to be. But everything is open to change and interpretation. Just don't want to restrict that Bowden tube too much, is my concern. Don't think I like these. I think these are a bit in my book. But you know, I haven't actually put that into there yet either, have I? There we go, that's that into there. That's that into there, that's that into there, that's that into there. So I've done all that. I still haven't put that head back on yet now. Don't let me forget. Okay. So apparently we are kind of at that point. So I will put the fan shroud back on. So that on, fan shroud back on. Are we ready for blue smoke time, everyone? Who's going to call blue smoke? Anybody going to call blue smoke? My goodness, Jonathan, how many years ago is that? The A10. That must be 7 years ago. Oh, an awful lot has changed in 7 years. So that shed, I'm trying to think where I was, which property I was at when I was in that shed. Right, I was, yes, okay. So, in those days, I was working at the gentleman I work for, who I first worked for him at a caravan park. And we spent 10 years at that caravan park and built it up and did a load of works on it, got it up and running, got it award winning, and then he bought a derelict lodge park with cottages, lodges, a big farmhouse, and we spent 5 years doing that up. Now, at the time I spent there, I was first of all in, first place I was in a wooden chalet, like a Swiss style chalet, which had no room for any 3D printers at all, but I was at that point using, I think, the house. So if you were to look at my video for the artillery sidewinder, that was done in the kitchen of the main house. Then we moved into one of the cottages, and one of the cottages had a shed that the boss built for me, so I had somewhere to go and tinker on my days off and in an evening and get away from everything. So that one was where the A10 would have been done. And then from there we moved from that stone cottage to a lodge, which was a cedar wood and glass and metal lodge. Very, very modern, very, very nice. And he built me a shed next to that as well. In fact, I built my own shed next to that. There is a video on my stream somewhere about me doing some work on it. And I was in there, and when after 5 years, including lockdown, we got the place turned around, put some new lodges on, did a lot of work over those 5 years, opened it, got it award winning, got it to be the #1 lodge park in the area, and it won awards and one thing and another. So he then bought another caravan park. So this is the caravan park that he bought, and he's moved us to here to do the same thing here. So again, period of the next 5 years, we'll be upgrading everything, changing everything, bringing everything up to date with Wi-Fi and making the pitches bigger and better and things like that. So that's why I'm now back inside, because I'm actually in one of the spare bedrooms, because it's a 5-bedroomed house and there's only 2 of us living in it. So that's why I'm back inside. Potted history of my working for the last 17 years. All for the same man. He's a lovely guy. My cable's not long enough. It might be long enough if there wasn't a box on top of it. So the question is, Jonathan, if you've gone back that far and you were A10 in those days, what have you got now? Tell me you've moved on from the A10. I've got a plug-in. I have a plug-in. I know, it's busy, 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 mate. There's no end of fun in my job. Right, so we have power to the printer. So what I've got now is I've got an on-off switch down here, and we're going to count to something, and we're going to press the button, and we're going to see what happens. Right, that's that really noisy fan everybody goes on about. I don't think it's that noisy. I guess the screen's lit up. I can't actually see it. So what I'll endeavour to do is now turn the printer back round again. I'll put the small camera on and we'll look at the screen and see what the screen says. Because it might well say, what have you done? Game over. So the question is, it says, Sovol system booting, and my light has come on. Oh my goodness. It does smell a little, but not massively. Let's change camera. So turn that round like that. We have a screen. It's on, look. Yay. Massive cheers. So it just talks me through the stuff on the screen. Do you know, I have still got don't know why I'm pointing at that screen because you're over there. I have still got an original Hemera, which is actually called a Hermes. That's how I got it early. Because I worked with E3D on doing some stuff with it, they sent me two. One of them I put on Sidewinder. Put one of them on the Sidewinder, and then when I got rid of the Sidewinder, it went with it. But the other one I've still got downstairs and has never been fitted to anything. So that's gathering junk. I keep meaning, I mean, I suppose I could ask you guys while I'm here. I've got stuff. I've got lots of bits of old printers and stuff floating about that really are just gathering dust, and I'd like to get rid of them somewhere. I know nobody really wants them, but I'm thinking just put them on Facebook Marketplace and say free to whoever wants them, as long as I get no comeback from it. Because there is so much just unused, never to be used again, unnecessary junk floating about. I've got Creality bits and pieces, I've got bits and pieces of all sorts. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Anyway, in this manual they don't actually take me through anything else. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have a little... Ah, right, okay. So if we're going to prepare, what have we got here? So if we do auto home, this is where I go through the bed, innit? Just wondering if this is going to get the gantry level. You would hope that what it's going to do is it's going to go right to the top. Yeah, you see that cable hasn't survived. So that cable management there has done nothing. So I think this needs rearranging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gantry up, control, right, so that doesn't let me change my axis. Move, that would be better. Okay, so we're going to take this all the way up, because that's the best way of working out how to get this cable orientation right. Because this is going to start snagging here now. You see, that's tightening up. So we're going to clip that cable. You see, they should tell you to do this. They should tell you to wait, get the gantry to the top, then wire this cable, because this is when it's at its greatest strain. Not when it's right near the bottom of the bed, it's when it's right at the top of the gantry. So at the moment that's twisting on itself, which is no good to man the beast. The other thing that's no good to man the beast is my clippers that are over there. So that's annoying, because it means I'm going to have to go underneath again. Cheers to the regiment. God, you don't see professionals doing this, do you? You see, that's tying itself in a knot now. Well, apparently that's at 250. It's 345 and it's saying 347 is maximum height. Right, so that reckons that can't go any higher than that. Now, I don't know whether I'm happy with that, whether that's... I suppose that's okay like that, but if you look at this, I'm going to have to disconnect that and unwrap it. So we'll power off. We'll disconnect that cable. We will run that like that. But you see, if they told you to lift the gantry to this point, I mean, before doing the cable management, right way up, Matt. I think that would help everybody quite a lot, because again, even like that, how is that supposed to clip into there? That's under so much pressure. You know, I'm going to end up pulling that out of there if I'm not careful. I'm probably doing something wrong. I generally do. I'm inclined to shorten this and clip it there. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shorten it with my clippers like that. And then that cable can sit into there. It can slide to here. It can sit into there. And now it's got slack on there and slack on there. That, I think, is far more sensible. I could be wrong. Now, does it remember where it is? Takes a while to boot. I suppose this is this clipper thing that I know absolutely nothing about, which is going to be interesting. So, is there a self-test? So that's possibly quite old. So I'm guessing I go into here. Yes, there's auto calibrating now, look. I won't show my IP. So okay, that's all pretty obvious. Level is pretty obvious. So I guess I have to connect it to the Wi-Fi network somehow and flash it some fresh firmware. But that's going to be really boring, isn't it? Do you think? Or is it something that you want to see? Oh, I see. Yeah, you have a config file. So you have a config file which you have to fill in with my Wi-Fi name and password, and then I see, yeah. Okay. Right. All makes sense. Right, we're going to leave it there, guys. If you weren't here at the beginning, when I started talking about this. The reason why I've got this is because I was looking at buying a tool changer. I was looking at maybe possibly could have been going for the Prusa, the XL. But then a few days ago, BondTech came out with a bit of a sort of early view of a multi-tool system that they have designed and have implemented and is going to be out in November. And basically there is one sort of hot end unit with the extruder gear and I believe the fans, and then they have a sort of a selection of slaves which have got the nozzle and the PTFE tube and the filament. I think that's what they've got in them, in a row on the back. So you've only actually got one nozzle. No, sorry, you've got a nozzle for each colour filament or each type of filament, but you've got one main carriage. So the carriage goes back, picks it up, brings it out. So you haven't got full tool heads. You've only got half the tool heads. It's like a cassette basically, which locks on and then comes forward and then starts to print. So it's a lighter weight way of doing it. It's an easier way of doing it than the system that people have been doing, which is put 5 of these on the back. And hopefully they're out in November. So having seen this BondTech system that's coming, I decided to buy a Sovol, because if this BondTech system works, I think it's £250 for the main unit, and then I think it's £75 ish for each of the cassettes that go on the back. If this works, it means I can have a 5-head tool changer for less than £1,000, including this machine, rather than paying nearly £3,500 for the same thing for a Prusa. So, and my brain says, well, if this works well and it comes out, these are suddenly going to become very difficult to get hold of, because this is the easiest route for people, unless they already have a machine or they have a Voron. This will be the easiest way to get into it, and they have said that they are going to do a kit specifically for this machine. So it was a no-brainer for the sake of about 470 quid all in. Here it is. It's now built. I'll now go through the nightmare of trying to learn Clipper, because I have absolutely no idea. Never touched Clipper, never looked at Clipper, never been interested by it, but that's all got to change. So maybe we'll go through this journey together. Maybe it will be too boring for you. If it's something that you'd like to see, my failures, I mean, I'm guessing eventually I will have to upgrade this to mainline Clipper. But I want to get my head around this basic port of Clipper to start with, and then we'll work on from there. But if you'd like to see that, if you want to be part of that, let me know in the comments. Fire me a message and let me know, because I'm not going to waste your time if you're not interested. But that's the direction I'm going. I'm going from where I started, which was machines like this that you had to fiddle with, then gone on to the bamboo machines, which are print and go, which are absolutely brilliant but boring, back to machines I have to fiddle with. So full circle, back to where we began. Hopefully not back to the days of the A8, but there we go. Anyway, I digress. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate that you've stayed with me till now, all 7 of you. Take care. Like I say, let me know what you think, whether it's worth us doing some more videos on it, or whether it's been done to death. And quite frankly, it would be better if I didn't bother. But that's the future for me, for the foreseeable, is get this working, get this printing. Maybe do a few mods to it once I've got my head around it. I've got to say, going from the first things that I heard about this and the noise of this fan, they must have done something about it, because this fan isn't that noisy. But I'll look into that and see if they have changed something. And yeah, we'll just see where we end up. We'll just take it from here. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. You can always catch me on X. You can always message me on here. Take care. Have fun. And I'll see you later.